Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Important information today. I'm going to title this, So You Say That There Are No Signs of an Internal Revolution in America. I'm going to show you there are. First of all, I want to show you this. This is the only thing I'm going to talk about this today, but I thought it was interesting. By the way, thank you for your emails. You send me some of the best stuff that I would never find just like this. Okay, so this is saying on the left that gold doubled in the last year, which means on the right, if you turn it upside down, it means that the dollar fell 50%, just like Dana Coverstone was told, and Brandon Biggs and Shane Warren and several others. Which is why, if you have some gold and silver, you're probably smiling right now because it's doubled in value, but it really hasn't doubled in value. You just didn't lose when everybody else lost. So you might want to call 800-200 gold, especially if you have a pile of cash someplace, be it a bank, be it a mattress, be it a box out in the back, who knows. But if you got a pile of cash someplace, you should call them. Especially if you have an IRA, 401k, you could lose it. You could lose most of it, maybe even all of it. 800-200 gold, 800-200 gold. Okay. In one day, what I'm about to show you, this is just things I found surfing the net just today. And it's answering the question, is there an internal revolution in America? First of all, this one went viral. School scrambling after teacher goes viral for mocking Charlie Kirk's death at a No Kings protest. Here's another one. Meet Lucy Martinez, an elementary school teacher from Chicago, who thought it was funny to mock Charlie Kirk's death. Now, let me read the text, then I'll show you the video. Nathan Hale Elementary has gone social media dark after one of its teachers was identified as the woman who made a mockery of the assassination of conservative organizer Charlie Kirk, according to UK's Daily Mail. According to the Daily Mail, the British-based news outlet with a significant U.S. presence, a teacher at Nathan Hale, Lucy Martinez, was participating in a No Kings demonstration organized internationally by communists, I'll change progressives to communists, railing against the Trump administration when a truck, this is important, flying a flag in honor of Kirk, drove past this lady. Martinez pointed a finger at her neck, mouthing the words, bang, bang. I'll show you. The video has gone viral with the Libs of TikTok account on the social media platform X, alone generating more than 3.4 million views just by early Monday afternoon. Nathan Hale Elementary has apparently shuttered its website, and its account is no longer available on X. A phone call to the school got a recording stating that the voicemail in the mailbox, voicemail was full, asking callers to try again. Here's the video, and we'll play it several times for you.
Hey! You ever heard of Ozempic? Hey! You ever heard of Ozempic?
And there's more. The FBI, under my administration, this is Donald Trump, is doing an incredible job. Since January 20th, more than 28,000 violent criminals have been arrested. Oh, there's no internal revolution in America. No one's trying to overthrow our government. With over 6,000 illegal weapons seized, oh, come on. Those are just for self-protection. More than 1,700 child predators and 300 human traffickers taken off the streets. Do you wonder where those 350,000 children went during the 4 years of the Biden administration? 5,000 innocent children were rescued. Yeah, well, where's the rest of them? 2,000 criminal enterprises disrupted, 1,900 kilos of fentanyl, that's enough to kill 125 million people, taken out. Historic results. We are bringing law and order back to America. But the problem is, America doesn't like it. They don't want Christianity. They don't want a Christian nation. And like I guess we've all heard, love it or leave it would be our response. But of course, they're not going to leave because they're very dead set on destroying the last Christian nation. Sadly, It is their choice. God gives them that choice. They're making the wrong choice. Again, some of the people will start fighting against the government. Here is another one. ICE should have the right to defend themselves against violent rioters. What? Wait a minute. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be the rioters are having to defend themselves against ICE. But this is saying, in other words, it's another point saying we are in an internal revolution. And if you don't think that there's communists funding it, look at this. The Communist Party out to destroy America. These are your domestic terrorists. Arabella, $79 million given into it. You think the Democrats are broke? No, they're not. Buffett, I recognize that name, but I hesitate to say probably the first letter or the first word of that name. Ford, Rockefeller, Soros, Tides, grand total, some $300 million has been given. Now, it did not tell the time. When was this? But the point is, the left got a lot of money. And a lot of that money comes from us, as I will show you in a second. Reporter Savannah Hernandez shares what she saw on the ground during the No Kings rally. So this is a lady who went to the No Kings rally. She says there's something odd about the protesters. There were two different factions of protesters. We had the one faction who had no idea why they were there, no idea why they were protesting. They were simply programs by CNN or whatever liberal mainstream they were watching or listening. You had the other faction of protesters who were there to call for, here it is, political violence against their opposition. In other words, the left is angry, and they're not going to take this sitting down. So right now, they're angry primarily over Trump, primarily over him cleaning up our nation. They don't want the illegals. They don't want the criminals rounded up. Why? Because they are one themselves. They, if you notice, coming out of their mouth about every sentence, there's some kind of filthy cuss word. They identify themselves with those words. So I read signs reading, all go to hell. And of course, it was MAGA supporters, and it was ICE that they were depicting as. You also had a woman holding a sign depicting, and there are some words here I really should not say. As a matter of fact, one of our platforms deleted our platform yesterday. My son Sean complained. They went back and looked at it, and they said, oops, yeah, no, you did not break our rules, and they reinstated it. So we are being extra careful on everything we say, because in a time of revolution, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Something like that. I think it was Animal Farm guy that said that. Anyway, so a woman is holding up a sign depicting a with a single MAGA hat on the bottom. So very clear that these people were either unaware of why they were marching, or they were marching on behalf of illegal immigrants and domestic terror organizations. What they're really doing is trying to destroy the last Christian nation. As soon as 2 hours passed by, the entire crowd completely dissipated. Kind of like they were off the clock now and they'd all just disappeared. It was really baffling to me because I had covered protests extensively for years at this point, but I've never seen a protest dissipate this fast. In other words, hey, they were paid to be there until, let's say, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever the hour is. And then when that hour came, they had served their time, and so they just leave. It's evil, paying evil to do evil things. You remember Dimitri? Now, I know I've read this many, many times, but let me show you something. Dimitri was told the fall of America would start with an internal revolution. My opinion, it has started. In America, started by the communists. My opinion, the left, these, and I'm going to read here in just a second, I'm going to read some names of some organizations that are funding this. By the way, this comes from the government, the thing I'll read in a second. Some of the people start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 of the countries will attack and defeat America in 1 hour. Now, today what I want to bring your attention to is started by the communists. Okay. Extremely progressive activism. When the fight for democracy turns into desire for death, this is a lady that is protesting there. And yes, I've got the video. Now, watch what she says. And I can't say the words, you got to read them. The most alarming aspect was the response when asked if they wished that were dead. And they answered, absolutely yes, justifying it as part of the fight for the future of freedom and democracy for their children. By the way, we're not a democracy, we are a republic. This type of thinking reveals an extremist moral and political mindset where opposition to the government is perceived as a personal and existential battle. Politics ceases to be a space for debate or institutional action and becomes a terrain where the ends justify the means, including symbolic or literal violence against individuals identified with opposing ideologies, celebrating the potential death of a political leader, even verbally represents a critical threshold of radicalization that undermines the democratic principles supposedly being defended, meaning the left is out to kill you. If you are a Christian, they are out to kill you. Not yet, but the day will arrive. Here's the video of this lady saying it.
So this is your birthday, so
Yes.
you came out on your birthday, you thought it was important. Tell me why.
Absolutely, because I have two little boys who deserve a bright future of freedom and democracy. And this is a nightmare that I'm living in, and I'm here to make a difference and to be loud and proud. And there's no other way I'd want to celebrate my birthday than with my parents and my best friend fighting for our country.
So, okay, so for a birthday present, what do you hope happens? You know, you wake up tomorrow morning.
I hope that I see the obituary that we're all waiting for tomorrow. That's what I hope for.
You wishing that President dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Gateway Pundit said, who's funding the No Kings protests? Socialists, communists, foreign entities, and anti-Israel factions. President Trump announced that his administration is investigating whether billionaire George Soros and affiliated left-wing groups financed the nationwide No Kings protests. What do you think? Did they? Speaking on board Air Force One, Trump suggested that the demonstrations, which drew an estimated 7 million participants across 2,700 U.S. locations, may have been paid by George Soros and their other radical left lunatics. Soros Open Society foundations have long supported progressive movements globally, and conservatives have frequently accused him of funding anti-Trump activism. Reports indicate that the No Kings protests were organized and were financed through a coalition of progressive foundations, labor unions, and advocacy groups. Remember, the devil is the most subtle beast of the field. Soros's Open Society Foundations issued a $3 million grant to Indivisible, the primary organizer of the protest, officially labeled as funding for, quote, social welfare activities. Indivisible managed data, communications, and logistics for the demonstrations. Consequently, Open Society denied directly funding the protests. Surely they wouldn't lie. Indivisible has also financed networks tied to anti-Israel campus protests. The foundation spokesperson said guarantees act independently within legal parameters. Let me go on to the next one here. Additional support reportedly came from major unions such as, here's part of the list, I'm going to show you more. Service Employees International Union, American Federation of Teachers, which help finance transportation, volunteer coordination. Other partner groups were ACLU, Human Rights Campaign, Move On, Public Citizen, provided organizational and publicity resources. This network of funding and coordination demonstrates that the No Kings movement was not a spontaneous grassroots uprising, but a well-funded, politically driven campaign backed by established left-wing or communist institutions. Third-party trackers such as Data Republican have mapped federal grant flows. Okay, what's a federal grant flow? In other words, they get the money from you, from taxes. And that money is funneled and funneled and refunneled until finally it winds up fighting against your nation, trying to destroy you Christians. That's what it's saying. Have mapped federal grant flows to several nonprofits connected with the protests. These links do not prove that federal dollars directly funded protests or operations, but they reveal that taxpayer-funded organizations are part of the wider network that helped power No Kings. And perhaps you've heard this quote, if you take away religion, you can't hire enough police. And we're going on with the same article. The Tithes Center also appears in Data Republicans' No Kings federal grant links, and federal records show it as a recurring recipient of multi-million-dollar awards from AmeriCorps, the NSF STEM education program, and, oh, look, USAID. Remember all the people protesting when Musk, when Musk went in with his people and they shut it down? And they say, oh, they do such good work. Yeah, but they don't do very much good work, okay? Then the American Civil Liberties Union is repeatedly named in coalition reports and in Data Republicans listings, with its own organizing platforms amplifying participation in coordination with Indivisible. United Way of Central New York. Oh, United Way. Well, when I was a kid, they used to take up collections from us in class for the United Way. And we got a little red metal little sticker, to put on our clothes or something if we gave, like a nickel or a dime or something like that. The United Way. Communist organization? Well, look what it says. Also appears in Data Republicans' visualization as a funder node linked to other entities such as the American National Red Cross. I give blood at the American National Red Cross. Wow. And many United Way chapters, United Way, I've given money in the United Way. It was back in high school, I think it was, received federal pass-through funding. Other coalition partners, named in the reports, though without specific federal award lines, include the Human Rights Campaign, Move On, Public Citizen, National Nurses United, League of Conservation Voters, and United We Dream. Not United We Stand, but United We Dream. What do they dream for? They dream for the fall of America and a communist nation. Military personnel. Try this again. Military personnel on social media call for soldiers to disobey orders, a violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Now, let me just say, this is saying that there are people that are calling for our military to disobey Donald Trump's orders. Now, if you look in the bottom left, you see that some of the videos are likely fake, AI, but some they're also pretty sure are genuine. Now, when military soldiers disobey their leader, they disobey the president, I think you call that an insurrection, bottom line. Insurrection or incitement. So, can we say that there's an internal revolution in America? I think we can. So I looked it up, and here's an actual letter dated June 13th, 2025, to the Honorable Pamela Bondi, Attorney General. And it comes from Neville Singham. And if you want to, you can pause and read all of this, but let me get to the point what it's saying. It says, China has a long track record of assisting far-left entities such as Code Pink that oppose U.S. interests and support U.S. adversaries. He has created an elaborate dark money network which allows him to send funds to a series of nonprofits such as United Community Fund, Justice Education Fund. Nonprofit filings show that $1.8 million flowed from these nonprofits to Chinese media company Macru Group. Mac's website shows young people gathering in Mr. Singham's office, facing a banner that reads, "Always follow the party," with an image of General Secretary Xi Jinping in the background. Skipping down, Mr. Singham may have acted as an agent for the CCP. Under General Secretary Xi, The CCP is known for its strategy of sowing discord, which refers to efforts to make internal disputes among the enemies so deep that they become distracted from conflict. If Mr. Singham is carrying out this strategy on behalf of the CCP, he may have registration problems. Okay, that's not the end of it. So you say, there are no communists in America working to overthrow our nation? This is what this same letter says. It says that in the briefing, we request that DOJ address an investigative effort into the following organizations. By the way, this is not all of the organizations listed. I just got a few of them. Organizations related to Mr. Singh for potential violations, in other words, communist parties. Party for Socialism and Liberation, Code Pink, No Cold War, Tricontinental, United Community Fund, Justice and Education Fund, People's Support Foundation, New Fame, People's Forum, Dongxing News, Shut It Down for Palestine, Answer Coalition, International People's Assembly, Al-Awada, New York, National Students for Justice in Palestine, and the list goes on. So, back to our question today. Are we in an internal revolution? Are the communists trying to overthrow us? I think you'd have to say the answer is yes. Then look at this. And we talked about this briefly, but the point is, $300 some odd million has been funneled into these communist organizations. So, is there an effort to bring down America by communists? Fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems, then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 of the countries will attack and destroy America in 1 hour. We are seeing a 40-year-old prophecy given August 3rd, 1984 to Dmitri Duduman starting to come to pass. And I don't understand why more people aren't hearing this, why more people aren't receiving it. It's like there's a blindness that has come to the American church. They just can't seem to see it, and it baffles me. So if you could send this out to the other people, that would be great. Also, we are down near red again. The devil doesn't like Prophecy Club. He doesn't want this. Matter of fact, the church, for the most part, doesn't want this message out. So for those few of you that do believe in this, do support, then yes, if God has blessed you, we need your help now. There's no other way to say it. I have to count on you, i.e. count on you being spoken to by the Lord in your heart. But I believe He's speaking to you, and I believe God will take care of us. So if you can help, we appreciate your help. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. The smart choice for savvy investors and preppers alike. With Silver Prepper Bars, you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. As gold and silver prices continue to surge and top economists predict upcoming shortages, now is the time to secure your precious metals in the form of prepper bars, the only bar on the market divisible into 3 sizes for maximum utility. Place your order before supply runs out and prices go up. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Don't leave your future to chance. All payment methods accepted. Order your silver prepper bars now. 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. Silver prepper bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
If you want to be on the end of making money, gold and silver is preserving your money. If you want to be on the end of making money, then you might want to call prophecyclubcrypto.com, or actually go to it, or call that number at the bottom right corner. Ask them about crypto if you're in the position where you can make money.